Hello guys, welcome back to our channel once again. The name is still Classy Forex and we are here to simplify the complicated. Alright, so today's going to be daily push episode 3 I think. So let's start with our market analysis for the rest of the week. Now, I'm going to first begin with US oil starting on the monthly time frame. So let's get into it. Now US oil, we have the monthly upper zone, the mid-range zone and then the lower zone. Let's talk about this pair here on the monthly. On the monthly time frame, we saw that there was a strong level of sell pressure on the monthly resistance level and then strong level of what? Buy pressure on the monthly support. But the buy pressure on the monthly support level has been broken to the downside, which means that we are no longer in a range or a consolidation period anymore. We are heading down. We are now in a downtrend. So price on the monthly is heading all the way to its next support level as well. Lower low on the monthly. Is that simple? Now the question then is, how are we going to be able to find opportunities to sell all the way down before price meets it to its support level as lower low? Let's find out as we take you through the various time frames together. So US oil, I'm going to take it further to a weekly time frame where I can add more details to this analysis. Alright, so this is also the weekly time frame of US oil. Let's put meaning into it. Alright, now US oil on the weekly time frame, what else do we see as well over here? On the weekly, we are seeing a downtrend. Where is the downtrend? Let's try to understand a downtrend over here. Alright, so we saw this level and then that level here. Alright, so this was what? A push the downside, we give us what? A lower low, lower high. What happens next? A new lower low. What happens? Under lower high. Where do we go? We move continuously to the downside. So the weekly time frame is giving us what? This beautiful downtrend, which is also indicating that we are indeed dropping all the way to the downside. Now that we have also understood the weekly time frame, let's take it further to the daily time frame to add more meaning to this technical analysis. Alright, so this is also the daily time frame of US oil. Now US oil on the daily time frame, let's put meaning into it as well. On the daily, we're also seeing the exact same thing as we saw on the weekly time frame, which is the downtrend. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and then we are dropping all the way to the downside in that manner. So this beautiful downtrend here on the daily is also supporting the overall direction that we identified on the monthly time frame. Now, how are we going to be able to pick the sells all the way to the downside on US oil? Let's find out now. US on the daily time frame, lower low, lower high, all right, bearish candles. Price is dropping all the way to a downside. So let's take it again to a forward time frame and then indicate where we are going to sell from what? This daily angle all the way down to the next monthly support level below. Let me show you the monthly support level. This is the monthly support level that we are going to take entry to capitalize on before what? The contact is made. So this is going to be a long-term trade, all right? Long-term trade. Now let's take it again to the forward time frame and prepare for our entry to the downside. Alright, so this is also the forward time frame on US oil. A very beautiful what? Structurized structure here on the forward time frame. Alright, let's get to it. Now the forward time frame, what else do we see over here? You can see that after the retest of this one, monthly resistance level as the lower high on the weekly and then on the daily, price has been able to break structure. Why? Because there's a strong level of what? Support level here, which is what? The forward support level. That price has been broken to the downside, giving us what? A lower low. We are expecting lower high, candle confirmation, and we pick our entry all the way to the next monthly support level. So US oil, this is our full and complete technical analysis. It's very simple, okay? It's that simple with the entry. Price has broken below our 4-hour support level to the downside, giving us a downtrend, which will be this lower low, lower high again, and then we sell all the way to a downside. Very beautiful entry that we can capitalize on the US oil. So once we're able to get in and get hold of this particular entry, we are going to go till we get our final target, which will give us a lot of profit. Okay, it's all about patience. You know that what swing trading or positional trading is all about what? Patience. Okay, if you can have the patience to wait for the right opportunities and you enter, you're going to make huge sum of money out of it as well. Alright, let's go to the next pair on the list. Next pair on the list. Now, next pair on the list is going to be GBP JPY. Last week, we had our stop loss set on GBP JPY. But let's talk about this week GBP JPY. So what is price doing? Is price still moving that same direction, or the direction has changed? Let's find out as we take you through the monthly time frame. Okay. So this is also GBP JPY. Let's dive into it. Alright, so GBP JPY, this is the monthly time frame. On the monthly time frame, we have the monthly upper, the mid-range, and then the lower zone. What is happening on GBP JPY? What is the overall direction that we can currently see here on the monthly time frame? On the monthly, we are in an uptrend vibe because this is a monthly push higher high, monthly exhaustion higher low, monthly continuational push new higher high, and we saw another higher low. Then after the higher low, we see a couple of touches on this support level. Price has tried to break continuously, but anytime it breaks, there's buy pressure that pushes it all the way to the upside. So if you look at the current break, this was the current break, price broke it all the way down here, but buyers came in early and then pushed price all the way back up again. So this is telling us that on the monthly time frame, price was in an uptrend, and there's also a strong level of buy pressure over here that we need to take it very seriously. So currently on the monthly time frame, price is heading all the way to the upside. That is what I can currently see over here based on the information that I'm giving to you guys. All right, let's take it again to the weekly time frame and then know how the market is going up and how we can make profit from that movement as well. All right, let's take it again to the weekly time frame. All right, so this is the weekly time frame of GBP JPY. Now GBP JPY on the weekly time frame, let's put meaning into it as well. Let's put meaning into it. On the weekly time, we have a weekly mid-range zone over here. Strong level of buy pressure as we saw on the monthly time frame, pushing price all the way to the upside. So you know that the buy pressure on this monthly support level is definitely moving the market all the way to the next weekly resistance before it may break and go up or probably drop all the way to the downside again. So let's look for entries that will take us all the way to the next weekly resistance level. Do we see any clues here on the weekly that is telling us the price will go up? Yes, I can see some bullish spin bars over here, which are all indication of the price is moving all the way to the upside. All right, let's take it all the way to daily time frame where we can put more meaning into this technical analysis. All right, so this is the daily time frame of GBP JPY. Now GBP JPY on the daily time frame, let's put meaning into it as well. All right, now the daily time frame, look at this. We have the daily mid-range zone over here, or the daily level of sensitivity. What happened on the daily? On the daily, price was initially in a downtrend. Look at this. Price broke below. This was a downtrend. We're in a downtrend, okay, just below the daily level over here. But buyers have been able to break above the daily resistance level to the upside, giving us a daily push. After push, what happens next? Retest. After retest, continuational push all the way to the upside. So GBP JPY, we are going to stay patient for price to retest this daily resistance level as support level or higher low before we can look for the opportunity to buy to the next resistance level of GBP JPY. So GBP JPY, this is exactly how we're going to enter our trade once we take it to the forward time frame. All right, let's take it all the way to a 4-ish and then prepare for our buy to the upside on GBP JPY. Okay, so this is GBP JPY on the forward time frame, and this is exactly how we are going to pick our entry. Let's explain the 4-ish time frame. Now on the forward time frame of GBP JPY, okay, we've seen the break above the strong resistance level of sensitivity to the upside with a push. After a push, we said that we are waiting for retest on this level. After retest, that is where we find our candle confirmation and then we buy all the way to the upside. So GBP JPY, this is definitely going to be our full and complete technical analysis as well, right? So once price is able to give us the retest that we need, then we wait for our candle confirmation after the completion of the retest, right exactly here, and we pick our buy all the way to the upside as well. So that's it also for GBP JPY. All right, let's take it to the next pair. Right, so the next pair is going to be NZD JPY. Let's look at NZD JPY. So now this is also NZD JPY. I'm also looking for an opportunity to buy on this pair. But let's explain the buy entry or the buying opportunity behind this particular pair. All right, so this is NZD JPY also on the monthly time frame. So NZD JPY on the monthly time frame, let's put meaning into it as usual. All right, so on the monthly time frame of NZD JPY, We have the monthly upper, the mid-range, and then the lower zone. What exactly is happening on the monthly time frame? On the monthly, let's look at this. Price gave us a monthly push, monthly exhaustion, higher low, continuational push, new higher high, new higher low. But buyers couldn't push the market continuously to the upside. Instead, when buyer pressure came in, sellers came in very quickly, broke structure of the monthly one, which is what? Or which is the breaking of what? This level of sensitivity to a downside. So this was the level that was maintaining the uptrend, but buyers couldn't find buy pressure to go up, and sellers were able to break below them, giving them what? A lower low. After lower low, what else? Lower high. After lower high, what else? Continuation push all the way to the downside. So NZD here on the money time, we can currently see that price is going for its lower high before it may drop all the way to the downside. And we can see the signs of it. What are the signs? The signs are this one: strong pin bar pushing the market continuously to the upside. Simple as that. Simple as that. All right. So let's take it again to the weekly time frame. Understand how the market is going up. Okay. Understand how the market is going up there, and how we can pick an opportunity to capitalize on the monthly lower high. All right. Let's take it all the way to the weekly time frame where we can add more meaning. Okay, so this is also the weekly time frame of NZD-JPY. Now, NZD-JPY on the weekly time frame, what is going on over here on the weekly? Is the weekly moving in our overall direction? Let's find out. Now, if you look closer at the weekly time frame, we have the weekly mid-range zone over here. Price has broken structure on the weekly to the upside. Let's explain. On the weekly time frame, this was a weekly push. We gave what? Lower low. We saw lower high again. A new lower low was formed. A new lower high, but sellers couldn't push the market continuously to the downside. Instead, they broke above its previous what? Lower low to the upside, giving us what? An uptrend. So currently on NZD-JPY, price what? Moving all the way to the upside. So we can now see that what? The weekly time frame is supporting what? Our retest or our capitalization on the lower high of the what? The monthly time frame. So we know that we are indeed heading all the way to the upside. But how can we pick entry to the upside? Let's take it further to the daily time frame to add more meaning. Okay, so this is the daily time frame of NZD-JPY. Now, NZD-JPY on the daily time frame, we have a daily mid-range zone over here. Price is also in an uptrend on the daily. Okay, it's very simple. So you saw how this is also a daily push to the upside. We are expecting daily exhaustion or retest, and then price goes all the way to the upside in that manner. Okay, so in the daily time frame, this is also higher high. We are expecting higher low, and then we buy from the higher low to the next monthly resistance level. Okay, so price has not yet completed the higher low, so we are going to wait for the higher low to complete before entry comes into the upside on NZD-JPY. So NZD-JPY, let's take it further down to a 4-hour time frame to add more meaning to this technical analysis. Alright, so this is also the 4-hour time frame of NZD-JPY. Now, NZD-JPY on the 4-hour time frame, this is exactly how we are going to pick our entry. Alright, let's explain the entry of NZD-JPY. So, NZD-JPY on the 4-hour time frame, we can currently see that what? Price is coming back for what? The daily higher low that we talked about in the day time frame, right? So, if you look closely, what? We are moving what? Closely, we are coming all the way down, lower low, lower high. So, we are expecting price to drop all the way down to complete the higher low before entry comes in all the way to the upside. So once price is able to complete the higher low on the daily, what are we going to wait for? Break of structure before we pick our entry all the way to the downside. Okay, so break of structure after what? Retest on this what? Weekly support level as higher low in the daily before we buy all the way to the upside on NZD-JPY. So NZD-JPY, this is also our full and complete technical analysis. Alright, let's move to the next pair. So what's the next pair on the list going to be? Let's check it out. Alright, I have NZD-USD up next. Now, NZD-USD, let's also talk about this pair. I'm also looking for a buying opportunity on NZD-USD. What is happening on NZD-USD? Let's take our time, okay? These days, it's all about time. It's all about taking your time to understand what the market is doing before you pick your entry because of how the market is, okay? The market has been moving very crazily. You know, Donald Trump and his, all of his troubles. Okay, Donald Trump and his troubles is just causing a whole lot in the market. But let's talk about the NZD USD now. Now, NZD USD, we have the monthly upper zone, the mid-range zone, and then the lower zone. What is happening over here in the monthly? We were able to see that what sellers were able to break below the support level. Then, after support level, or after the break below the support level, we saw lower low, and then retest. But after retest, we haven't seen any form of what? Continuation move to the downside. All that we are seeing on this one particular time frame is what? More buy pressure, which has even been able to break above its previous what? Support level to the downside, to the upside. So NZD USD price is currently trading above this one support level, which is now resistance, is trading above it. So if you are trading above it, then where are you going? We are moving all the way to the upside. How sure are we that buyers will be able to continuously push the market to the upside and the sellers won't come in and give us a surprise move to the downside? Let's find out. So we are taking it all the way to a weekly. So this is the weekly time frame of NZD USD. Now NZD USD on the weekly time frame, let us also take our time. Okay, try to understand what is happening over here before the continuation of the analysis. All right. So NZD USD on the weekly, we have a weekly mid-range zone over here. What do we see on the weekly? On the weekly time frame, we can trace the price as broken above what? The monthly middle zone to the upside. It has also broken above the weekly resistance. This was what? A weekly resistance. Price has broken above it as well, which means that we are in an uptrend on the weekly. So on the weekly, what are we expecting? Since this is a weekly push, we'll be expecting retest and then continuation of the move all the way to the upside. Simple as that, okay? So if you look closer at the weekly time frame, you can see some strong bearish spins coming all the way down as well as retest before we go all the way to the upside. But this retest is going to be seen clearly as we take you through the various time frames. So let's take it again to the daily time frame and have another closer look. Alright, so this is the daily time frame of NZD USD. Now NZD USD on the daily time frame, we have the daily mid-range zone as well. So on the daily, we are also seeing an uptrend. Why? Let's find out. On the daily, price has also broken above its previous high to the upside, giving us a higher high. So on the daily, we're also expecting higher low before our entry goes in all the way to the upside in that simple manner. So NZD USD price will give us one retest here on the daily before confirmation to the upside comes in. All right, let's take it again to the 4H time frame where we have our setup ready to go once what the movement is complete. Okay, so this is also the 4 time frame. Now the 4 time frame, let's talk about the 4 time frame. Let's talk about the 4 time frame. Let's talk about the 4 time frame. Okay, now the 4 time frame, we have the 4-hour mid-range zone over here. Price is now what? Heading all the way down to complete the daily higher low. Alright, so you can clearly see that what? This support level, which was very strong, has been broken, meaning that sellers are coming to complete what? The retest or the higher low in the daily. Then after that, we wait for a break of structure candle confirmations and then we buy all the way to the upside. So entry will start coming in immediately price complete what? The retest. So we need the retest to complete before we start what? Thinking of buying all the way to the upside on NZD USD. So NZD USD, this becomes our full and complete technical analysis. Let's take you to the next pair on the list. Alright, next pair is going to be Euro USD. Let's talk about Euro USD. Okay, now Euro USD, I've been waiting. I'm still waiting for the right opportunity to buy. Alright, so like I said, since Donald Trump is causing a lot of trouble, okay, the market is moving. It's not moving, in a normal way that we understand. Okay, it's just moving anyhow. So we need to be very, very careful as we are picking our entries on what? On any other pair. Alright, so this is Euro USD on the monthly time frame. Let's talk about it. So you have the monthly upper, the mid-range, and then the lower zone. On the monthly time frame, price has been able to break above the resistance level of the monthly to the upside with a push. Alright, so you know that this push is going all the way to end at the next what? Resistance level above. So you're looking for entries above or buying opportunities above the monthly mid-range zone to go all the way to the upside. How do we look for the buys to the upside on Euro USD? Let's take it further to the weekly time frame to add more meaning to the analysis. Alright, so this is Euro USD on the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame of Euro USD, let's add more meaning. So if you look at the weekly time frame of Euro USD, this is the break above the middle zone. And after the break, look at this. there's a strong pin bar over here, okay, telling us that buyers have lost momentum. So sellers are going to come in for the retest, and then we can hop in and buy all the way to the upside. So if sellers are able to push the market all the way down here, then that area will give us a strong momentum for us to buy all the way to the upside. So EURUSD, let's take it again to daily time frame where we can add more meaning. Alright, so this is the daily time frame of EURUSD. Now EURUSD on the daily time frame, what else are we seeing over here? We have the daily mid-range zone, that's correct. So here on the daily we can also see an uptrend. Let's try and draw the uptrend so that we can understand what we are doing. So you saw what these are all levels. Alright. So look at this price is an uptrend, high, higher low, higher low, high. I'm expecting next high low, and I buy from here all the way to upside. So EURUSD price should give us what the retest that we need, candle confirmation, and then we can buy all the way to the upside in that simple manner. But let's take it all the way to a 4-hour time frame, understand how the retest will happen on the 4H before the entry to the upside on EURUSD will set in. Alright, so EURUSD, take it all the way to a 4H time frame. Alright, so this is the 4-hour time frame of EURUSD. Now EURUSD on the 4-hour time frame, look at this. Price is in a downtrend on the 4-hour time frame, indicating that we will definitely come back for what? The higher low. Where is the downtrend on the 4-hour time frame? Look at this. Price give us for the higher high here. A higher low. Could you continue going up? Instead, what did it do? It broke below, giving us a lower high, and has since been moving in the range just below what? Its previous level of what? Sensitivity. So EURUSD, since price is just what? Below this level of what? Sensitivity, means that what? We are dropping all the way to the downside of value. So price will definitely hit us here as higher low on the daily. Then entry confirmation, we buy all the way to the upside of value. So EURUSD, once the movement is complete, break of structure, entry confirmation, we buy all the way to the upside. Okay. So that's it also for EURUSD. Let's take it again to the next one on the list. What's the next one on the list? Let's go all the way to DXY. Okay, you know we can't do EURUSD without doing DXY. We need to understand the flow of DXY so we can also predict EURUSD accurately. So DXY, let's also begin on the monthly time. What has happened on the monthly time frame? Alright, so this is DXY on the monthly time frame. So on the monthly, we also have the monthly upper, the mid-range, and then the lower zone. What has happened on the monthly time frame? Price has been able to break below the support level to the downside. So once we are below the support level, sellers are in control. We are looking for entries all the way to the downside. How do we pick sales for downside? Let's take it further to weekly time frame where we can add more meaning. Alright, so this is also the weekly time frame of DXY. Now DXY on the weekly time frame, price has been able to break below strong support level with a push all the way down. After push, retest will happen and then continuation move further to the downside. So if you look closely at DXY here on the weekly time, you can clearly see what this is a pin bar indicating that buyers pushing the market up for retest before price drops all the way to the downside. So DXY, we know very well that what we are going to see price drop all the way to the downside. But how will price drop? Let's take it further down to the daily to add more meaning. So this is daily time frame of DXY. Now DXY on the daily time frame, you are seeing almost the exact same thing as you saw on EURUSD. So over here on DXY, we are also in a downtrend supporting the movement to the downside. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, under lower low. We are expecting one under lower high, and then we can sell all the way to the downside. So once price complete the lower high, that is where our entry will come in, and then we drop it all the way to the downside on DXY. So DXY, let's take it further to a 4-hour time frame where we can complete the analysis. So this is the 4-hour time frame of what? Of DXY. This is the 4-hour time frame of DXY, and this is exactly how we're going to pick our entry. So on the 4-hour time frame of DXY, price also in an uptrend. We have our 4-hour mid-range over here. Price has been able to break about the 4-hour resistance level to the upside. We're expecting price to complete the retest here as lower high on the daily, and then break of structure, entry confirmation, it starts selling all the way to a downside on DXY. So DXY, this is also a full and complete technical analysis. All right, let's move to the next pair on the list. Next pair on the list. All right, next pair is going to be USD. Now USD, I'm also looking for a sell on this pair. Now, before I analyze USD, if you haven't joined my free signals group, the link is in the description of the video. So make sure that once you're watching the video, you're also commenting, you're subscribing, and also join the free signals group the link is in the description. Okay, because once you join the free signal group, and then these pairs that we have analyzed, we see entry on them, you're going to get some. You can also enter some and then make money out of it as well. All right, so let's continue with what you as chef. No rush, let's take our time. Right, so you as chef, you also have the monthly upper, the mid-range, and then the lower zone. Let's talk about this pair. What is happening? Prices are in a downtrend. Okay, you see what? Lower low, lower high, equal low, or lower low again, another lower high, equal lower high, and price has dropped all the way down, breaking below what? This strong support level to a downside. So this break below is also telling us that sellers are in control. They are pushing the market all the way to the downside. But let's look at this pair very well. How is price going to drop all the way to a downside? That's the question. Let's take it again to weekly time frame and study. This is the weekly. On the weekly time frame, we can clearly see, I think this one is very clear. We can clearly see that our price is going all the way up to retest and then we drop all the way down. So once price retest this area, it will see sell pressure and then drop all the way to a downside, right? So let's take it again to daily time frame to add more meaning. I think this one is quite very simple. So we are going to finish quickly. So this is the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, okay, almost the exact same thing. We have our daily mid-range zone over here. This is a daily push, a downside lower low. We're expecting daily retest lower high before our entry can come in all the way to the downside on this pair as well. Alright, let's take it all the way to a 4-hour time frame to finish it up completely. Right, so this is the 4-hour time frame of USD chef. Now USD chef on the 4-hour time frame, let's put meaning into it. Now on the 4H of USD chef, let's adjust the screen so we can see what we are doing very clearly. Alright, so on the 4-hour time frame of USD chef, we have the full H upper and then the full H lower. What has price done over here? Price has been able to break above the resistance level of the 4-hour time frame. So which give us what? An uptrend. So currently on the full H, we're in an uptrend. Higher high, higher low, equal high, low. Buy pressure is coming in, continuously pushing the market all the way to the upside. So if this uptrend continues and complete the lower high that we're expecting on a daily, then candle confirmation or break of structure, and then we start selling all the way to the downside. So you as a chef, this is also a full and complete technical analysis, right? This is also a full and complete technical analysis. So after retest, which is be the lower high on the daily, we're waiting for what? Break of structure before we sell all the way to a downside, right? So that's it also for Euro USD. Let's move on to probably our last pair. No, it's not our last pair. I think last but one. All right. So BTC USD now Bitcoin. Remember we did BTC USD analysis. All right, and then we predicted the buy to the upside. Okay, I told you guys, those of you that have been following me for a while now. I told you guys that price will see buy pressure from here, but we won't buy. Okay, we won't buy because it was invalid. Why was it invalid to buy from here? Why was it invalid? Because we were below the weekly mid-range, which was in a downtrend. So buy over here was what? Invalid. So if you buy here, you went, it's invalid. Okay, all you want is invalid, but we're always going to go with what? With the valid one, so that we can do this thing for what? A long period of time. Because today you bought over here, the next time you see such an opportunity you buy, you are going to lose, because this was what? The downtrend on the weekly. We'll talk about it. But let's start the analysis on the monthly time frame. Alright, so this is what Euro or BTC USD on the monthly time frame. Let's take our time and then try to put meaning into it. Alright, so this is Euro USD on the monthly time frame. You have the monthly upper, the mid range, and then the lower. So price is an uptrend. This high, this high low, this another high, this is another high low, and we are moving all the way to the upside. Beautiful uptrend, making the direction very easy. So we know that price is going all the way to make contact at least with its previous level of sensitivity, which is the monthly resistance level. But how can we pick a buy to go all the way up? Let's take it further to the weekly time frame to add more meaning. So this is the weekly time frame of Euro or BTC USD. BTC USD weekly time frame. Now the weekly time frame of BTC USD. Look at this. On the weekly, what do we see over here? Price has now broken structure on the weekly. This is our weekly mid-range zone. Alright, so price give us what? A lower low, all the way down here, lower high, equal low, came all the way up and has been able to break above this lower high to the upside, meaning that we are going all the way to create what? A higher high somewhere else above. So Euro USD or BTC USD on the weekly time frame, currently we are in an uptrend. Now, this is a weekly push to the upside. Will price continuously move in this straight line all the way up? I do not think so, because the market doesn't move in a straight line. So definitely, we are going to get some form of retest, which will be higher low before price goes all the way to the upside. Simple as that. Simple as that. Let's take it again to daily time frame, and then we can get to understand what price wants to do. All right. So this is the daily time frame of BTC USD. Now BTC USD on the daily time frame. This was where we were trying to look for, or this was where I said earlier in my previous video on this that we are not going to buy. Okay. So if you take it to forward time, this was where we were. I said if you buy over here, it is invalid. So if you buy in one, it is still what? Invalid. The reason why we don't buy invalid is because we know that what? On a high scale, if you take about 10 invalid trades, okay, you can lose about 7 of them and just win 3, which will still go against you. Alright. So we don't want to be in that situation. You're always going to go with the valid ones. So that once we lose, even if you lose the valid entry, we can still have what? More energy towards the trade, rather than going with what? With the wrong setup and then winning and then losing again continuously if we see them anywhere else. Alright, so this is BTC USD on the daytime. Let's explain. On the daytime frame, price is looking above the weekly resistance level as you saw. So this is what a push after push, what happens? Retest after retest, continuational push all the way to the upside. So BTC USD, we're going to wait for the retest as higher low and then we buy all the way to the upside. So if you look closely, price or buyers have lost momentum. So if you look at this, after this strong push to the upside, we can see that what? Price is just moving in this manner. Meaning that what? The momentum is what? Is lost. So sellers will come in very quickly to complete the retest before our price goes all the way to the upside. Let's take it again to the 4-hour time frame, prepare for a buy. This is the 4-hour time frame of what? Euro USD, and this is it. This was where I said that if you buy over here, it was what? Invalid, because remember this resistance level was the one? The one separating the buyers and the sellers. Alright, so if you are below here, it means that sellers are in control. That's why we didn't buy over here. Why? Because if you buy over here, price touches here, it can drop. Because on the weekly, this was what? A resistance level supporting a downtrend, right? So since price has been able to break above peacefully, then what do we do? Wait for a retest and then we buy all the way to the upside in that manner. So Euro USD or BTC USD, why do I keep saying Euro USD? Right, so this is BTC USD, and this is exactly how we are going to pick our entry. I'm patiently waiting. I've been waiting for this pair for about, I think, 2 weeks now, right? Yes, because I did the BTC USD analysis last 2 weeks. Okay, last 2 weeks, and we are still waiting. Okay, we are still waiting patiently. So if the move is able to complete higher low, then we look for an entry here to buy all the way to the upside, make money, and be happy about it. Simple as that. So BTC USD, this is also our full and complete technical analysis. All right, let's take it to the last pair on the list. GBP NZD. What is happening on GBP NZD? GBP NZD, I'm looking for a buying opportunity on this pair. I'm looking for a buying opportunity on this pair. Why am I looking for a buy on GBP NZD? Let's find out as we take you through the monthly time frame. Okay, so this is the monthly time frame of GBP NZD. Now GBP NZD on the monthly time frame, we have the monthly upper, the mid range, and then the lower zone. Price in action on the monthly time. Look at this: higher high, higher low, higher high. Will there be higher low before price goes up, or will buyers continuously push the market all the way up? That's the question that we are asking ourselves. But this question is going to be answered as we ourselves try to put meaning into what? The analysis that we are seeing, or the technicals that we are going to find out on this pair. So let's go to weekly. What is the weekly telling us? Let's go to weekly. Okay, so this is the weekly time frame of GBP NZD. What do we see on the weekly? On the weekly, we are seeing a very beautiful uptrend. We have the weekly upper and the weekly lower zone. Push the upside higher high, an exhaustion higher low, another higher high, another higher low, strong bullish candle. We are heading all the way to the upside. So on the weekly time frame, this uptrend is telling us that price will not drop, but we'll see buy pressure to go all the way to the upside. Simple as that. So based on what we are seeing on the weekly, we know that price will make another move to the upside. But how is it going to make that move? Let's take it again to a daily time frame to find out. Okay, so this is the daily time frame of GBP NZD. Now GBP NZD on the daily time frame, you have the daily mid-range over here. Let's talk about the daily. Look at this. On the daily time frame, price made a move all the way down. It broke below the weekly level. Okay, I thought it was going to drop on the way down here, but it didn't. Look how hard it did. It created a double bottom over here and has broken above the neckline. Steady very well. Double bottom, a break above the neckline. What should happen is retest of the neckline and then continuation push all the way to the upside. So GBP NZD price will give us one retest here before an entry goes in all the way to the upside. Let's take it all the way to 4 hour time frame and then look for that one retest before we buy. Alright, so this is what GBP NZD on the 4 hour time frame. This is exactly how you're going to pick the entry. So on the 4 hour time frame, you're waiting for the retest. After retest, candle confirmation is needed, and then we buy all the way to the upside. So this is our full and complete analysis on the GBP NZD. Once you're able to pick entry after what? The higher low or the retest, TP1 will be at this one resistance level. TP2 will also be at the next monthly resistance level in that manner. Okay, stop loss will just be below here, which I'll give you once the entry comes in. This will be the SL, this will be the entry point. Okay, so once everything is completed on GBP NZD, we are going to hit our buy and then we hold to reach our final target. Okay, now we've taken our time to do all the analysis. So once you're able to pick the entry, okay, some of you guys, when I give you the signal, just you opt out very quickly. It's good though, but once it's able to go in and hit our target, you lose all that profit. You understand? And then you know that in the market, it's all about the risk to reward ratio. You get it? I can lose 2 trades in a row, but if I'm able to win one, which gives me at least 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, I've made a lot of money. You understand? So you need to understand the dynamics of that one situation. All right. So that's it also for GBP NZD. Now we are done with the market analysis for the day. Thank you for joining in. Remember to stay classy and trade classy. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Comment below to help the channel out, and then join my free signals group. The link is also in the description of the video. Thank you all. Stay classy, trade classy, guys. Peace. I'm out.